everybody. It's Sophie and Marco Dish Out on the Movies. Today, instead of our usual review of a movie, Marco wants to give some editorial remarks about the new Goosebumps movie coming out. So here's Marco.
First off, this video is called Marco's Movie Corner number 1. There's no Sophie in this except for your little introduction. Well, yes, there is. Come on, Sophie. I'm going to have Sophie comment a little bit and ask her a few questions maybe to discuss a little bit because she's a fan of Goosebumps too. So I'm a huge fan of the original show and some of the books. I've only read like a couple of the books, and one of the ones that I think was my favorite was the Camp Jelly Jam one, because I thought that was very creepy, and I also thought it was entertaining, and I was very shocked that there was no TV show episode made about it. They just didn't get to it. They got canceled. So the Goosebumps made a movie. The studio that owns them, I think it's Sony, and they made a movie a couple of years ago, and it did successfully, even though it was awful. We both saw it in theaters. I thought that the best thing it had going for it was Jack Black. It was very funny when he was on screen, all of his jokes, but at the same time, there were only a couple of monsters that got highlighted, and, excuse me, really, the movie was about this stupid romance between the new kid in town and the girl that he likes, so I didn't like that at all. I would give the movie like a 2.5 stars out of 5. I thought Slappy was stupid. I didn't like his voice. I think he looks fake and like plastic compared to the TV show Slappy. What did you think about the movie? Do you remember? You liked it.
Well, I liked it because it'd been a while since Goosebumps of anything had been on TV. Well, not TV, anywhere out in public, and um, I I like Jack Black. I guess that's the one thing that elevated it. If it hadn't had him, I don't think it would have been. It right off the bat, it wouldn't have been as good as the TV series. I thought the TV series was pretty well done for the most part. There was most of the episodes were really good, and I know we're talking about the movie, but I'm just thinking about it had been off the radar of the screen. I know there's been some books made since then, but nothing's been on TV or any kind of video, and at least that I know of. And so I was excited, and I know a lot of people, kids who had read Goosebumps when it first came out, and for the years right after that, they were really excited about that. And so I know that they were disappointed by the movie as well, from what I have read.
Yes.
And they're the ones that actually read a lot of the books, not just watched the TV show. I mean, it was great to have both. I mean, the TV show was so good that they put on the Haunted Mask and the Haunted Mask 2. Those were actually shown on Halloween night on Prime TV.
Not anymore, though.
No, not anymore. But during the time when it in its height of popularity, that's when they showed those on mainstream TV in the evening, and I thought that was pretty good. And I know that R.L. Stine, because I got to meet him with my other son, who was read a lot of his books.
He was disappointed that the show got canceled.
Yeah. That's what he really loved it when they had it on TV. It was really one of his favorite things. It was like kind of like maybe, if you're a writer, and it'd be like the ultimate thing to have not only that you're popular and you sell a lot of books, but that your writing is made into something that's on TV, and it's good, and people like it then too. in that kind of
I
mode.
think
So
what's cool about it is that R.L. Stein knows how to push the limits of horror for kids to make it so where adults like it too, and to where teenagers like it, to where kids like it, everybody likes it. And because the TV show, it pushed the limits just like the books did, except for some episodes, like how to go eat worms, where it's just like, oh, there's worms, they're really scary, and they're not scary, but in the book, they're pretty interesting. I don't know if they're scary or not, but the movie, the biggest problem with it was it wasn't very. It, it's very obvious that R.L. Stein did not write the movie. It's very obvious that R.L. Stein didn't give any input into the movie.
well, if he did, it sure wasn't very much. It might have been
No,
a drop.
actually I read that Jack Black went over to Earl Stein and said, "Hey, I'm gonna play you, and I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna play you exactly like you really are. I'm gonna play a different version of you." So Earl Stein gave no input on the movie. I can clearly tell that the movie's very childish. It's very romance based, which if you've seen the Goosebumps episodes,
They're not.
well,
Not
also,
only hints, but not never following through because it's the kids are too young. You
and
know.
also the romance, sometimes it doesn't work out very well.
Yeah.
Like I believe in the mutant episode, the masked mutant episode. I can't remember exactly because I haven't watched it in a while, but I think his girlfriend turns into the bad guy at the end, or maybe his girlfriend is captured and but he doesn't know that and or something. But romance does not work out, and there's not that much in it because this is supposed to be in between. It's supposed to be all the kids are age 12, and the movie focused far too much on romance, far too much on making jokes that only little kids would like. And the second one,
And the two don't even go together.
the
Little kids
trailer,
aren't, into romance.
yeah, that's very.
And then so you have a romance for like older kids, and then you have little kid jokes. They don't match. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the fans were a little bit. I think they expected to kind of. I'm not sure if they expected it to kind of age with them
They
a little
expected
bit.
a movie that treated them like they're smart and didn't expect that they were stupid and that they'll take anything they get, which is evident of the how many likes the second Goosebumps trailer got. I mean, it has all these likes, and you can see there people will take anything that they can get. They don't want to criticize anything, and that's why I like to criticize a lot, especially on these movie reviews with movies like Vertigo and Spider-Man: Homecoming. Those movies get a ton of praise. Nobody ever says anything bad about them like they're afraid to. And so when I saw this trailer, I was expecting maybe it could be good. At first, I was a little bit taken back because the movie was originally supposed to be Goosebumps go to Horrorland, and it was supposed to have all the cast in the first one come back and go to Horrorland. That didn't happen. Apparently, there were like 5 or 6 scripts for this movie, just like with Spider-Man, and look what happened with that movie. uh, so they went with this haunted Halloween thing where you have these 2 little kids and they discover a book that wasn't supposed to be discovered that excuse me again. They discover a book that wasn't supposed to be discovered that unleashes all the monsters.
Which is just like what happened in the first
Isn't
Goosebumps
that
movie.
exactly what happened in the first Goosebumps movie, except R.L. Stein was there too?
Why would they do that?
Whoa. I don't know.
They could have written a movie about kids finding having that kind of monster or finding that without all that other stuff about opening a book that's not supposed to be opened. I don't get that. Or they could have done that other movie that they were going to do about the Horrorland,
Well,
whatever.
we'll talk about what they could have done after we finish criticizing this garbage trailer. So right off the bat, extremely irritated, and then they show Slappy, and they give Slappy like 70% of the trailer's screen time because Slappy was apparently so popular in the first one. This bad Slappy. He's not a good Slappy like the one on the TV show. Uh, and so then after that, all these monsters are just randomly there. These Halloween monsters, witches, pumpkin head things, which are from the book, but they don't look like they're from the book. Vampires, just look so stupid and kiddish. And then they had two jokes in the trailer, and neither of them were funny. And at the end, they had these gummy bears, and they're like, "Oh, gummy bears can't be scary." And then they multiplied and got bigger, and they grew sharp teeth. Wow, very scary. Not, cause what does that remind you of? The little gummy bears,
I don't know.
the lawn gnomes.
Oh, well, it doesn't remind me of lawn gnomes. They remind you of, but whatever.
Remember the first trailer? At the end of the trailer, they had these lawn gnomes, and
I
they
know.
were,
I remember the story.
and people were like,
I
"Oh,
remember. I did see that
they're
show.
so cute. They're not going to do anything to hurt us." And then the lawn gnomes started, I don't know, throwing things at them, and they're like, "Ah, God, this is so funny." They did the exact same thing with these gummy bears. I mean, does anybody notice that? So, automatically, very, very disappointed. It looks like they're going to have another romance, too. I don't know if that girl is supposed to be his sister or if they're supposed to be together because they don't go together at all.
I don't think so.
They're
She
tiny.
drives, and there's nobody. I don't think very many. Well, I guess the one about the camera. What's that one about the camera? You take a picture of somebody and
Say
something
cheese
bad.
and die.
Uh,
That's no. In that, his brother drives. He doesn't drive.
that's right. Okay, but as far then hardly there isn't anybody who drives. They're not old enough to drive.
Maybe she's forced to drive. Maybe they have to escape, so she had to drive.
I don't know.
But I mean, they don't go together at all. By the way, they look horrible with each other. They're not a good couple. These are tiny. These are tiny little kids. They're not supposed to be in love like that. And I mean, we don't care about that type of stuff in this movie. A Goosebumps movie, that is. So here are a couple of things they could have done instead. And by the way, here's the big thing they could have done. Have a wide variety of Goosebumps movies coming out. So you could have a Goosebumps movie for little kids that, it's just a complete rip-off and kids can enjoy it, whatever. The kids will like it, so who cares? Kids are stupid, right? That's what Earl Stein thinks. Not. I don't endorse these types of movies that think kids are stupid. But and so then the second one would be you do a straight up adaptation of a book. So that could be any book in the series, any well known or not well known book, and do an extended adaptation like what I was talking about a couple of months ago, or I guess a year ago now, with an old story. I was talking about you could extend that and make it a movie. You could do that. You could do an adult version for the fans who grew up and they're adults now. And you could do an R-rated slappy movie, which I'm sure everybody who's a fan of Goosebumps as a kid would go see. You'd already have a huge audience that would see that. You could do a new Goosebumps story that has new characters and then could have an iconic character come in at the end like Slappy. or the haunted mask and kill the villain. That'd be pretty cool. And lastly, lastly, you could do a sequel movie to maybe a book or a TV show episode. You could do a sequel. And it would make sense. People would see that if they were fans of the TV show, and then people who weren't fans can just watch the TV show episode. It's only 20 minutes long, so it's not going to be very much they have to watch. So, what do you think, Safi? Which one of those would you choose?
I don't know. I think I'm still I still would like the Horrorland. It'd be nice to focus on something that they didn't do a lot of, like the old story. I don't think that was a real popular or more well-known one. In other words, not do another Haunted Mask, because that was figured prominently, like I said, on primetime TV. The Haunted Mask 1, Haunted Mask 2.
And it was resolved. The whole story was. But
That's right.
The only problem with old story is that the aunt got killed. So.
Now I guess she'd have to be part of a coven.
Yeah.
I think the Welcome to Dead House would be really good.
Yeah, Welcome to Dead House.
Because of the EPA thing, and it would be really apropos and fit in.
That has nothing to do with anything.
Well, it still would be. I think it's a good horror story.
That has nothing to do with anything to do with Goosebumps.
Well, that's because
there's an accident. There's an accident at the factory where there's a chemical spill. It has nothing to do.
Well, that can happen.
With the EPA.
Okay, well that can happen anytime, anywhere, any day. So that would be something to do too. A great movie. Anything but gummy bears? Really?
Gummy bears? What are they gonna have?
That's about the last thing I ever would have expected.
Well, it's so scary. Ha ha ha. Kids are so dumb. Ha ha ha.
Gummy bears with teeth.
Take all our money so you can get more millions that you don't even need. Take all these parents' money that they want to take their kids see a good movie, and they take them to see this movie, and it just treats kids like they're stupid, and it's just a complete rip off of the first one. What an insult to the Goosebumps franchise. I'm completely taken back and flabbergasted by the decisions made with this movie. I would personally choose to make a new Goosebumps story that would be for kids and adults. It would be completely original. I would do that first, and then after that I would do an adult Goosebumps movie, like a slappy rated R movie.
Well, there's also, remember he did write some stories for adults. Didn't he write a book for adults?
That's different stuff though. That's different franchises like Fear Street.
No, I mean a real adult book. It was right after the show went off, and
he's done a few.
I can't remember. And then there was also that book that he signed for us.
Yeah,
those stories.
There's books
those
with
were
just
more
short
adult.
story. Yeah.
And those were good.
Adult, but I think it would be really cool, and I think that a lot of the fans from the original series would appreciate that if they did a more adult version or more adult story with a Goosebumps character like Slappy or the Horrorland characters where people get killed. Maybe some of these kid characters grow up and Slappy comes back to kill them. Something like that. You know, you could do anything, but you choose to rip off the movie and make it even more childish because kids are stupid and you don't care about kids.
Well, kids aren't stupid; they're just younger.
Oh, these people think kids are stupid.
Oh.
Because they make this movie that's just a rip off and it's unintelligent and it's lazy. So they think kids are stupid. The actors who chose to be in this movie, they think that other kids are stupid. They're not even fans of Goosebumps. these kids. So,
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean,
well, we're not
you have to
gonna see
reserve
it.
your final. You don't want to see it.
I'm not seeing it. You
I think
couldn't.
you should reserve your final judgment. And I mean, really, gummy bears, really?
You couldn't pay me to see this movie.
Well, you could at least wait until it comes out on whatever,
Yeah,
and not
I'll wait
make
for
an
it.
effort to go. I mean, pay the money we pay to
Maybe
go see it at the theater. Of course, we usually see it at the cheapest time we can, but
somebody will put it on YouTube or Netflix.
whatever. But we're still working on our Alfred Hitchcock week, Marco. So it's a little hard to upload videos. It takes time, and sometimes they stop, and then Marco has to start all over again. So I don't know if anybody else has
Yeah,
this trouble,
they stop for no reason
but
too.
we have trouble with that. So
stop.
we do a lot more work than you think, but it's just a matter of uploading the video to YouTube, and it's for some reason it's problematical for us. So I don't know what to say. I don't know how to explain it or how to make it better. If anybody has a suggestion, we're welcome to it. So
Well,
anything else, Marco?
I think that people should subscribe to our channel and write down in the comments section what type of Goosebumps movie would you like.
If you're interested in that kind of thing.
Well, of course, everybody's interested. Everybody who's a fan of the series would be a little bit interested. Like, oh, I'd love to see more of this character, maybe that book on screen. So, goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you later when we review The Man Who Knew Too Much
And
wrote
Frenzy.
and Frenzy.
Frenzy. And then after that, we're thinking of doing kids comedies, so like movies where the kids are troublemakers or something like that.
Maybe.
So, something fun like that. We want to kind of have some fun movies to review.
And we have to mix it up too, because all of these Alfred Hitchcock movies
They're
are
so
old
serious
movies.
too.
But they're really good, but they're old.
They're
and
very
it'd be nice
rich.
to move on to something else.
Every time you watch like these older movies, they're really good, but it's a lot to absorb, especially like with the lifeboat and the story in that, and it's a lot to absorb. So goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. See you soon.